Hello dear traders. For today's session, I will go through all major markets, major currency pairs, and I will also check the gold market and the crude oil market. So I will start with the euro versus US dollar first. What we got on the euro versus US dollar is I will start with trying to find what is the overall trend, long-term, mid-term, short-term. And I will start with the monthly time frame, and just want to mention that basically last month, so we got a month of June, we got a big down bar, lower low, lower high last month, and closing on the low. The very next bar, which is very next month, which is the current month, we already got a lower low and the lower high so far. So far, I can see that there is a potential building like this ABC, which might lead us overall, maybe even this month or so, for the revisiting of this 1.1710 level. That's one option, and I will call the monthly trend as downside based on the last month versus 2 months ago, bar by bar. Now I'll switch to the weekly time frame, also watching the euro. We're still in the euro dollar weekly time frame. We got a lower low and lower highs in the last few weeks. And last week didn't change that. We got still lower low and the lower high. So overall weekly trend is also downside. So we got a monthly and the weekly trend downside. And now we're switching to the daily time frame. And here the things are that we got basically some reversal day, like 2 days ago, 2 trading days ago. We got a reversal up bar on the high volume, and we got a follow through. So this was a Friday up bar, but volume actually less than the previous 2 or 3 or 4 bars even. So we got a higher high and higher low on the daily, but obviously the Friday basically didn't have any good volume on that rally. So I'm saying that there is basically some weak buyers that tried something on the euro with a further rally. So we just got a very little follow through on Friday, based on this reversal up day that happened 2 days ago. When we have that, and I've also combined that with my Taylor work, we have a 2 trend up days and expect the third day to be down day, and that's exactly today. Is there is a rate of change flip to the downside after 1, 2 up, we get a flip to the downside. In a downside trending mode, that's basically a pretty bearish, and we already got a good downside movement so far. Now the pin bar area and the areas to watch on the downside on the euro versus US dollar are set at 1.1825, and then basically all the way down where we started this initial rally at 1.1780. So definitely my advice will be, and preferable strategy according to current condition, will be to watch the sell and eventually the rallies, watching the intraday charts like a 5 and a 15 with a further downside movement on the euro versus US dollar. Speaking of the British pound versus US dollar, I see pretty similar thing, right? We got an up day on Friday, but we got even some volume there on Friday, but today we got a test reject of the previous day high and the downside movement since the beginning of the Europe session. So there is a very negative bearish tone so far today, and especially from the beginning of the Europe session at this stage here. Based on the 4-hour time frame, there is another interesting indication that is basically serving the sellers very well, and this is basically a completion of this A, B, C type of the correction. There is a completion of that correction from my perspective, and the further downside will be preferable on this currency pair. I also combine that with my market profile analysis, using the MT4 platform InstaForex, and we got imbalance of the regime and basically the lower area based on the last week. We got a 1.3800 and 1.3780, like a very important reference points based on the previous week. So I guess the downside opportunities, sell on the rallies until we reach some of the reference points down there, 1.3800, 1.3780 will be preferable strategy on the British pound versus US dollar. If we speak about the trends on the higher frames, so I must mention that on the monthly there is a downside trend. We get a lower low and lower high so far, and the reversal bar last month, but the weekly time frame got some inside bar formation. So weekly is like neutral neutral to bearish, monthly is bearish, and the daily just got this rally, which I think that we're right now rejecting back, as we see the very, very strong negative tone for so far for today. So watch for selling opportunities there on rallies. Japanese yen is also interesting because watching the multi-time frame analysis, starting from the monthly time frame, we still make a higher, higher, higher low so far this week. Last week also got a higher high and higher low. Watching the weekly time frame, then we got a lower low and lower high. 1 week, it can be 1 week like a correction, but daily time frame will reveal as a story basically. And after this sell-off that happened like 2 trading days ago, we got an inside day. The very next day was just an inside day, fully inside that big down day. And today we are breaking the high of that inside day bar, which was from Friday. So this still gives a positive tone, I guess, for the further movement on the USD Japanese yen. What I will watch on the USD Japanese yen is this upper legend of play. So this is the last week profile, and we got a 110.65, like a pretty interesting level to watch for the upside reference points. We also got acceptance into the single print, so I guess there is at least 40 to 50 pips potential in terms of the bull side. So bull side preferable on this one, of course. Watching for pullbacks or completion of ABCs or like expanded flats like this will be very good confirmation for the further upside continuation. Going to the Australian dollar versus US dollar, bear flag there, consolidation, the break side, downside, 1 day up on the lower volume, weekly, monthly trends down, 1 day up, nothing basically still, everything is bearish there, and watching for selling on the bear opportunities on the rallies will be preferable strategy with a potential target around 0.7415. USD versus Canadian dollar will go very fast through this with a 1 day reaction down, but all trends are up very, very big time. This can be easily pulled back with a 4-hour time frame, and so far bull tone for this morning on the Europe session. Gold is waiting for a breakout basically on the daily time frame. Last few days we got a consolidation, upside breakout of the 1818 will confirm eventual revisiting of 1846. But the downside breakout of the eventual 1792 will confirm even test of the area around 1750. So watch for the breakout on the gold. So gold can be on the breakout mode very soon. That will be all for today, and see you all tomorrow morning.